welcome to Epiphyllum's workshop. Today we're going to learn how to mix soil. You can do it by hand. You can do it with a big old stick and a butter churn if you want. You can just sit there and just mix them up in a 5-gallon pail. You guys know the amount of plants I have, so I'm going to show you how to use a cement mixer. This is a old cement mixer. It's handmade. It's an actual redneck type. It's actually got cement in it. So what you want to do first is you want to get some rocks to clean it out. Now what I've done is I filled up a 5-gallon bucket full of rocks. Whoop. And they're about 2 inch in size. What you do is you throw those in there with just a little bit of water and you let it run for about half an hour. Now I've already done that, so it is clean. The next thing you want to do is you let it dry out, wipe it out and such like that. After all that's said and done, then you get your mixing your soil mix together. You want to start out with a soil mix, either a potted soil mix or something of your own thing. What I usually do is I use a Farfard 52 mix, and then I add a little bit of manure to it. I also add a little bit of bone meal to it. I add lava rock and very chunky perlite. And I also add just a little bit of peat moss and a little bit of coir to it. It's my new soil mix, and we're going to see how it works out this year. Last year it didn't work out so well, so I'm going to go in back organic and use a different type of soil mix. Now I've already mixed up several different batches of it, but what I want you to keep in mind is the amount of soil that I use is about 40 gallons at least, 40 to 60 gallons. So you want to try to keep everything even. So if you're using a big old thing like this, what you want to do is you want to mix your soil as best as you can, empty it out in a 30-gallon drum, and then you want to keep mixing it. You want to put in about 5 gallons of each bucket at a time until it's thoroughly mixed. This is probably going to take you about 2 days to do. So what I want to do is I want to show you the mix. And those are in those little drums right there. That is what my mix is in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load my machine here. Then I'm going to turn it on and let it sit for a little bit and actually mix. I got a 5-gallon bucket. So what you want to do is put your cement mixer up straight and then just start adding it in there. Now I'm using an old potting container, that way I can, mix and choose what I have. Now other things you're going to need for this, you're going to need a couple of garbage cans to hold your mix. You're going to need a bucket to scoop out the mix to put into the cement mixer. And you're also going to need a good 20-gallon tote. These things are really good, and they have a wide mouth on them, because when you start emptying this thing, that's when it starts getting fun, because it'll actually spill over and you won't be able to catch it all. So what I'm doing is I'm loading my cement mixer. You don't want to load it up too much because it will fall out. Depending on the size of the mixer that you have, you should also keep that into consideration. And once you get your mix down a little bit, you can actually handle one of these drums and put it in there. And one thing you want to keep in mind when you're mixing soil is to be safe. Safety is always a key factor. Right now, my wife is in the living room. She can't hear me right now, so if I have a problem, all I have to do is just yell and she can come out. plug in the mixer. It's a loud one too, isn't it? Set it off on the side. And leave it alone. Essentially is all you do. What you want to make sure of is when you got your cement mixer going, if you see how it's staying into the drum, you don't see it falling out, that's a good thing. You don't want it falling out. But you just let it sit, you let it mix for a good 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, we'll come back and we'll find out how it looks. Now after unloading it, you'll start to see that it's starting to mix up really good here. It's got all of the ingredients that I want. It's really good and mixed. And what I'll do is I'll actually run my hands through it a couple of times, squeeze it into a ball, make sure it doesn't form a clump. The next thing I'll do is I'll actually put it into a pot, wet the soil down, and see how it does. But that's how I make soil, and that's how a good way to make really good amounts of soil. And you can actually see that it's got everything that I put in there really mixed around, really good. And I should have a bumper crop of plants this year. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris from Epiphyllum. You guys have a good day, and I hope you learned how to make soil using an old-fashioned redneck cement mixer. How do you like them apples?